What drives a person to destroy something beautiful, something sacred, knowing the cost could ruin them? In the quiet town of Willow Creek, where the library stood as a beacon of knowledge and community, one woman's actions would unravel a tapestry of secrets, rage, and redemption. This is the story of Karen Whitmore, whose name became synonymous with scandal, and the ripple effects of her choices that no one saw coming. Karen was a woman of sharp edges and sharper words. At 42, she carried herself with the confidence of someone who believed she was always right. Her days were spent managing a small boutique downtown, her nights filled with online forums where she vented about the world's injustices. To her, Willow Creek's library board, a hand-carved wooden mural depicting the town's history, was an eyesore. Its intricate details, from the founding settlers to the blooming Karen flowers that gave the town its nickname, felt like a glorification of a past she despised. "It's elitist," she'd mutter to anyone who'd listen. "A waste of space for dusty books nobody reads." The library board was no ordinary fixture. Crafted by local artisans over a decade, it was a masterpiece of oak and cherrywood, inlaid with scenes of resilience. Farmers tilling fields, children reading under oak trees, and Karen flowers in full bloom, their vibrant red petals symbolizing hope. The board was unveiled at the library's centennial, a gift to the town, funded by donations from every family in Willow Creek. It was a point of pride, a reminder of what unity could achieve. But to Karen, it was a monument to everything she felt excluded from a community she believed had never truly accepted her. It was a humid July evening when Karen made her move. Under the cover of darkness, armed with cans of spray paint she'd bought from a hardware store 2 towns over, she crept to the library. Her heart pounded, not with fear, but with a strange exhilaration. She saw herself as a rebel, striking a blow against the sanctimonious town council that had rejected her petition to modernize the library. "They'll thank me later," she whispered, shaking a can of neon green paint. The first spray hit the board, defacing a carved Karen flower. Then came red, blue, and black, a chaotic smear of colors obliterating the settlers' faces, the oak trees, the history. By the time she finished, the board was unrecognizable, a garish wound on the library's facade. The town awoke to chaos. By morning, a crowd had gathered, gasping and whispering. Children cried, their parents speechless. The library board, a symbol of their shared heritage, was ruined. Social media exploded with photos of the vandalism, hashtags like Save Willow Creek and Karen the Vandal trending locally. The police were called, and security footage from a nearby shop caught Karen in the act, her face unmistakable under the streetlights. She was arrested by noon, her defiance melting into panic as handcuffs clicked around her wrists. At her trial, Karen's defense was as bold as her crime. "I was making a statement," she declared, her voice steady despite the packed courtroom. "That board glorified a past that erased people like me, outsiders, people who don't fit your perfect little narrative." Her words struck a chord with some, particularly younger residents who felt Willow Creek clung too tightly to tradition. But the judge was unmoved. The board's restoration was estimated at $110,000, a cost Karen was ordered to pay, along with community service to oversee the repairs. The town was divided. Some saw her as a villain, others as a misunderstood crusader. Enter Lila Torres, a soft-spoken art restorer who arrived in Willow Creek a week after the verdict. Lila was an unexpected twist in the saga, a stranger with no ties to the town, hired for her expertise in wood restoration. At 28, she was a quiet force, her hands steady but her eyes carrying a weight no one could quite place. She set up her tools in the library's courtyard, working under a tarp to protect the damaged board from the elements. Lila's presence shifted the town's focus. Where Karen's act had sparked anger, Lila's meticulous work inspired curiosity. People stopped by daily, watching her scrape away paint, sand down scars, and carve new details into the wood. Lila's arrival wasn't just a plot twist. It was a mirror held up to Karen's motives. As Lila worked, she shared stories with the townsfolk who lingered. "I grew up in a place like this," she said one afternoon, her voice barely above a whisper. A town that loved its history but forgot its people. I get why someone might want to lash out. Her words weren't a defense of Karen but an acknowledgement of the pain behind the act. Lila's empathy disarmed the community, forcing them to question their own role in Karen's alienation. Had they ignored her? Had they dismissed her too quickly? Karen, meanwhile, was unraveling. The fine was a financial death sentence. She'd have to sell her boutique, her home, everything. Community service was humiliating. She worked alongside Lila, scrubbing paint under the restorer's watchful eye. At first, Karen was defiant, muttering about the town's hypocrisy. But Lila's quiet presence wore her down. One evening, as they worked late, Lila handed Karen a chisel. "Try carving," she said. "It's not about fixing the board. It's about understanding what you broke." Karen scoffed but took the tool. Her first attempt was clumsy, a jagged line in the wood. Lila didn't criticize. She guided Karen's hand, showing her how to shape a petal. Over weeks, something shifted. Karen began to see the board not as a symbol of exclusion but as a labor of love. Each carving told a story of struggle, of hope, of people who'd fought for something bigger than themselves. She learned about the Karen flower's meaning. Resilience in adversity, a nod to the town's survival through floods and economic hardship. Karen's anger, once afire, began to cool. But the cost of her actions loomed, a shadow she couldn't escape. The twist came on a rainy October morning. Lila, who'd become a quiet hero in Willow Creek, revealed a secret. During a town meeting, she stood before the crowd, her voice trembling. "I didn't come here just to restore the board," she said. "I came because I owed it to my mother." Lila's mother, it turned out, had been a Willow Creek native who'd left decades ago, ostracized for her outspoken activism. The board's creation had been her mother's dream, a way to preserve the town's heart. Lila's work wasn't just professional, it was personal. She'd taken the job to honor a legacy Karen had tried to erase. The revelation hit Karen like a blow. She'd seen herself as a rebel, but Lila's story reframed her as a destroyer of someone else's fight for belonging. The town, too, was shaken. They'd vilified Karen without understanding her, just as they'd once pushed out Lila's mother. The board's restoration became more than a repair. It was a reckoning. Karen threw herself into the work, carving with a precision she hadn't known she possessed. But the fine remained, a crushing weight. The boutique was sold, her savings drained. Karen faced a future of debt and displacement. As the board neared completion, the town gathered for its unveiling. The restored mural was breathtaking, its Karen flowers more vibrant than before, thanks to Lila's skill and Karen's unexpected talent. The crowd applauded, but Karen stood apart, her face a mask of conflicted emotions. She'd found purpose in the restoration, but it couldn't undo the consequences. Lila, sensing her turmoil, approached her after the ceremony. "You didn't just fix the board," she said. "You gave it something new. That's not nothing." Karen nodded, tears in her eyes, but the words felt hollow against the reality of her ruined life. The story doesn't end with redemption. Karen's fine was unforgiving, and the town's forgiveness was incomplete. Some still saw her as a vandal, others as a cautionary tale. She moved away, unable to afford Willow Creek's rising costs, her name forever tied to the scandal. Lila left too, her work done, carrying her mother's legacy forward. The library board stood proud, its Karen flowers a testament to resilience, but also a reminder of what's lost when anger overrides understanding. In the end, Willow Creek learned a bitter lesson. Every act of destruction carries a human cost, and every symbol of hope can be a battleground for pain. Karen's story wasn't just about vandalism. It was about a woman who felt unseen, a town that failed to listen, and a restoration that came too late to save her. ND.